This is Cultivate Your Signature. Key number 2, address fixed mindset. So when you are thinking about a fixed mindset, you're thinking about it in terms of the psychology term that Carol Dweck has defined within her book Mindset, and she's essentially looking at the difference between fixed mindset and growth mindset. Fixed mindset, you believe all of your intellectual and innate abilities are fixed, unchanged. Um, with a growth mindset, you believe that they're not changed and that they're actually flexible and that you can grow. So, for example, if you have a fixed mindset about a particular issue, and the issue is, I can't do this, I can't take this test, I can't pass it, okay, then you have cut off any ability to learn a new strategy for passing the test, right? Because every test has a solution, every problem has a solution. It just depends upon how you arrive at the solution, the strategy. So that's why your math teacher will tell you to show your work. Don't just put the answer, because the teacher needs to know that you know how to solve the problem level by level, line by line. I remember when I was grading papers in the teachers center lab area, and I saw this math professor, and she was actually grading all of her students' work, and she was looking at each student's paper and each mathematical problem line by line. There were times where she used a check mark, and then there were times where she actually utilized an X. And so she was, and then in some ways the person still got to the answer, or in some ways they did not. But she was operating to me with a growth mindset, in a sense that let me show you where you are still struggling in terms of a fixed mindset with this particular math problem, and then let me further show you how you can resolve that particular issue with a growth mindset. And so when you are cultivating your signature, you're going to have to address those areas of fixed mindset, because there are some areas that you're going to do well and you're going to shine, and then you're going to get stuck in that success. And getting stuck in that success, even though it represents it represents a growth mindset, it could also represent a fixed mindset, that you believe that the only success you will ever have is that one success. If you pay attention to people just in general, sometimes it can be celebrities, public figures, people you know, they're always talking about that one particular thing that they did and how well they did it, and then they get into sort of like this glee on their faces, and they're smiling about it, they're talking about it, it's just with so much ease. But then when you ask them, so what are your future plans, they get stuck. They can't answer the question. They don't know what they're going to do, because they have been riding so much on the success of that particular one thing, that they can't move themselves into another understanding that I can achieve something else, or I can be successful at the next level, and then the further the next level. And so it's hard to pull out of them any sort of original ideas, because they are fixated on that one particular thing that they did, and or they got success in. Say for instance, you have a person who says, I may get a student who comes from the high school environment to my college classroom and says, well, okay, I've always gotten all A's on my papers. Well, you might have gotten all A's on your papers within a certain environment, but when you come to the college environment, it's a different type of environment. You're going to have to relearn writing strategies for this context. And so they're surprised when they don't receive an A on a paper, and that creates a fixed mindset in them. That's why Carol Dweck suggests in much of her work, her research, that we need to praise students' work appropriately. Because if you tell them that everything they did well is, I mean, everything they did is done well and great, and um, they don't think they need to improve, you're going to see that manifested in other areas of their life, especially in the workforce, When improvement is part of the process, you always improving. You can't get stuck on a particular sales success, right? You can't get stuck on a particular account that you were able to secure that also brought the company money. You can't go through the hallway saying, okay, I did this, everybody needs to recognize me. No, there's still more work to be done. And when you have a fixed mindset, is in this vein that you don't think that you have any more to do, when you always have more to do because your gifts and talents and your life assignment requires you to do more. So, cultivate your signature. Key number 2, address fixed mindset.